How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to a Raid Shadow Legends video. We have a very special guest today to take our sweet little hands and guide us through the early game in Raid Shadow Legends. The Raid genius, one of the kings of Raid, if I can say so myself. Huge member of hellhades.com. We've got Nub Raids, and one of the, I think my first collab ever in the history of YouTube for me. So it's so cool to be here with you many years later. How are you doing, Nub Raids?
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's it's been 3 years in the making, but we're finally back together talking about raids.
I threw a lot of stuff at you there, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy that it's been 3 years.
It is
3 good years. 3 good years. A lot has changed as well.
I gotta say, it's we gotta get into it because a lot has changed, and basically the point of this video is going to be because I mean it's gone 3 years. What are the new things that you can take advantage of as a new player? Just highlight a couple and how you can kind of take advantage of these additions to propel your progress, kind of thing. Okay. I do want to mention it is just so crazy that like I think we both were kind of doing this at least a little casually, and somehow it is our profession 3 years later. So yeah. Just want to acknowledge that wackiness. And you've had so much success. So guys, if you happen to have come over with me from Watch of Realms, or you just found me with my link or something like that, by the way, link in the description, top pin comment, really is the best link in Teleria right now. But if somehow you don't know Nub Raids, you're about as premium a resource as people are going to find in terms of audiovisual content. So I really do suggest everyone go check them out. Link in the description and the top pin comment. But thank you for being here. Let me take advantage of the amazing resource that you are. Where shall we begin? I mean, there's so much new stuff, my man.
Yeah, let's dive in. I guess one thing to cover is, I think, just an important thing, big thing that has changed. It's not going to be so relevant right when you start the game, but it's something to definitely bear in mind if you're going to play the game long term. Whereas before, a big place that you were putting your save resources, like your shards and your gems, was towards potentially getting every fusion, and that was very important for a free to play. There's a new thing that they do now, which is they often run these things called Titan events between fusions, which are sort of like just another fusion between fusions. And those, I think, can actually be well worth targeting. So that's something to consider. Whereas before, you would have said, okay, maybe go for as many fusions as you can to build up your roster. Now in 2025, you might be better off when there's an amazing fusion like Armand's, and then go for his soul as well. They will give you the 5-star soul in these Titan events or Heroes Path. I think for the current fusion Esme, they gave a Heroes Path for her soul and for her partner. I personally didn't think that one was worth it. I always do videos on that stuff and give you my thoughts. But for a good fusion, it might well be worth skipping a mid fusion to just go get that 5-star soul, because, especially if you're free to play and you have the patience to stockpile those resources, you might never see a 5-star soul for them again. And it is such a big boost in power. So yeah, I think that's quite a big change that you might not expect. And often with the login champions, like you've probably got Alice and you'll get a 5-star soul for your login champs, and that's massive as well.
They definitely do, and they actually make a bigger difference than when I played. So the Titan event, I do want to touch on that because that is brand new to me. I've heard about it. Colred told me about it a lot, and that I need a plan for it. When Souls, we did have Brimstone, we had, was it Phantom Touch, all these things people enjoyed, but the stats thing is insanity, especially for a new account. Yeah. That was not a thing. So that must have been added in the past couple of years, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they reworked how the stats work. So the blessings used to be, I don't know, like Brimstone, I think maybe had whatever accuracy and HP or something. And then there were specific ones would have had like attack and whatnot. Now you just get all the stats on them.
And these are consistent, right? It's like, well, if it's 2 stars, you get these 2, and there's 3, it goes down to defense, and 4, and so on. So, I mean, this is a major change. Like, especially to a young account like this, where it's like, yeah, my gear blows, but you know what's crazy? You know what's literally crazy? A free 750 attack, maybe on a Nub Raids account or something special like that. It means a little less.
It's still a lot.
It's crazy.
It's still crazy. Specifically, to go more in depth in that, so a 5-star soul gives you accuracy and resistance. That is phenomenal for damage dealers with debuffs. So in the case of Alice, the accuracy is massive because she needs it to do her lockout.
What is the quantity you get? Because this is my only soul in my home. Oh, it just
scroll down and shows you.
75. Yeah. I gotta say, so nearly as good as I was at Raid when I used to play, right? And I've touted some of my accomplishments because I used to think I was pretty dang good. I had like an OG free-to-play thing before this challenge existed. Back then it was like Bionic Gaming, and I think J-Gigs had just started a free-to-play series. He was great. Yeah. I mean, and J-Gigs is the GOAT, but Bionic, he was like the OG. It was really hard to get Lydia. I didn't have relics. I didn't have free gear move around, and I certainly was not getting 75 accuracy. So So, I mean, these effects are incredible. Anyone that's gotten their Alice Blessing threw on that Brimstone, maybe you make a pivot later on. I mean, this is very powerful. But basically, I don't want to spend too much time, but to tell us about the Titan events, the way Colred told it to me, because we did a video. Actually, it was after I watched his video and your video, because I was going to go for Esme. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that based on the advice I got from those two corners of YouTube. Basically, it's kind of a similar investment I'm hearing to a fusion. And it's like, yeah, you could hit every fusion, or you could hit half the fusions and then also get their 5-star soul. So, I mean, what is the faction that Wixwell is in, if you don't mind telling me?
He's Sacred Order.
He's Sacred Order. So this was like the community guy. I've seen him. I just left for my own clan, but I was in Jagid's clan, and I'm not lying. Every single member of that, I'm not exaggerating. Yeah. It was me, the other new guy, and only Wixwell teams. So like so would you want that guy that's on every clan boss team in the world and his 5-star soul for those crazy stats? Or do you want him and Esme, right? It's as simple as, it's not saying Esme's bad, but maybe give us
I mean, she's decent, but yeah, that's exactly the question. Yeah, that's exactly it.
You could have Esme who's like a 6, or you could have a 10 out of 10 Wixwell with a 5-star soul.
Again, going on top of it, if you want to be more serious about PvP and Arena, which is now bigger than ever in the game, there's now Live Arena. There's Siege, which is effectively a sort of version of Tag Team Arena when you unlock those. So like, and they're definitely going to update those in the future, by the way. Like, they're not done. There's definitely Live Arena update, I believe, coming this year. They've teased that. And Siege, don't know when that's going to be updated, but it surely will be as well. Probably this year too, maybe later in the year. Like, there's more coming. Again, the 6-star, if we go back to the blessings, that 6-star, it gives you a ton of speed. So for champions like Armans, Arbiter, that sort of thing, having the extra speed.
How much is it?
It's 15. If you go down to the bottom again, it will show you.
So 15.
It's a crazy amount of
15 for perspective, guys. Like even it is like an average speed champion, right? 99. We're talking like less than 12 from a speed set. So you're getting what does that come out to? Quick maths, like 125% of that with just by hitting that blessing. So obviously you're not going to get 6-star blessings for everyone, but wow.
No,
pretty special.
It is extremely expensive. You can maybe get one, like, honestly, probably about every 6 months or so. Like, it's very, very, very tough, and that's end game even. Yeah. It takes a long time, but to get that 6-star blessing, you don't want to be buying the 5-star, right? Yeah. You want to have that already, and that's a big focus. It would be, especially if you're looking to be serious about pushing into late game, is going, okay, I want to get the really, really strong fusions with the 5-star soul, and then I can save up and buy their 6-star soul. And that will massively propel me in those areas, because that extra speed and several of the blessings basically only work when they're 6-star, or you really want them 6-star. So that has a huge impact. Yeah, again, it's not something you're going to worry about for the first 3 or 4 months.
It's a very strong tip. And to explain what you're saying, I think I remember how it works. You see here everything, and this is not telling you, but to the viewers that are newbies like me, in the Soul Merchant, everything's 1-star. So the only way you're going to see more than 1-star is if I had the 1-star for these guys already. So the only way you're seeing a 6-star, well, you can get the 6-star by being the luckiest boy in town. But realistically, you want that 4-star, then you unlock the 5-star, then the 5-star unlock the 6-star, so on. You do those incremental, those grades. But man, if you start with the 5-star, if you get 2 refreshes a day, one day Armand's going to be there, and then you strike while that iron's hot. I love that tip. Very quickly before we go to your next thing, the Titan event, is it very, very comparable to the Fusion? Because that is brand new to me. Extremely. Okay.
It's very comparable. So basically, it will be like whatever. There'll be different milestones, but it's essentially just filling up a bar of points, and you get points from whatever. The same stuff as always: dungeon divers, artifact enhancement, blah blah blah. It's basically just a different skin on a fusion, and you don't get a champion. You'll get, like, they did one for the Alice event, and in there was a Mad Hatter 5-star soul, but also the Cat's Gaze relic was in there. So yeah, they tend to weave them in. But yeah, there's
no idea where the Mad Hatter is. Sorry, is he Knight's
He's the Knight's Revenant.
Okay, there he is. Yeah. I think it's an excellent point. And just to take this home finally, so you could get the fusion and the 5-star soul for every single character. Of course you could. But to do that free to play would be a tremendous undertaking, and you'd have to be very late or end game. And even to do it low spend might be hard. So basically you got to figure out what's my sweet spot. Do I literally skip half the fusions and just do the good ones plus the blessing? Do I do all the fusions, but only half of them I go for the blessing? Or are you a Kraken and you don't need to watch any of our videos? Do whatever the heck you want.
That's right. You can pay someone to watch our videos.
Amazing. Okay, so what's up next? I think that's a great place to start because that is very novel.
Let's do something straightforward and simple. I think we're all probably well familiar, I'd hope, with the 2x events for shards, like your 2x Sacred's on right now, for example. To mention, there are 2x events for soulstones, and 2x mythicals are a bit different as well. Let's do the souls first while we're here. But yeah, they tend to run, there's variations of these 2x events that they do. So they've very commonly done 2x for 5 and 6 stars from mortals. With immortals, they mix it up, and sometimes they do a 2x for 6 star only, and sometimes they do a 2x for 5 and 6 star. Obviously, getting 2x 5 and 6 star is better. So yeah, you definitely want to be saving your soul stones for those events, just to try get as many souls as possible. And yeah, because they are such a huge power spike for you. They've done, maybe they did Eternal Soul Stones. I don't think they've done them yet, or maybe they did them once. I don't quite remember now. But yeah, they don't often do events for those. Don't worry, you're not going to get any anyway.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, do those exist?
No, not really.
Yeah. I do want to ask though. There's clearly a point, I would think, where you have to, like where I'm at right now. I'm just summoning souls constantly because I don't have any souls. So is that correct? Is there a point where they're like, okay, I've got enough now. Let's save for the proper moments. Do you know around when you would say that would be?
I like, it's sort of the same as shards. You know, you can just YOLO them at the start and see if you get something. I think even from the start, it's probably more optimal to save.
Really? Okay.
But I'd say like it really becomes more important probably when you're 2 or 3 months in. I feel like sort of generally speaking, probably around the point where it becomes viable to complete fusions, probably again 3 months in. I feel like you can definitely enjoy the game pretty casually until that point. And then you can become more serious about resource management if you're trying to min-max and do stuff free to play, because it's not really designed that you can do everything free to play. Like, it's going to be impossible. So yeah, I would say, you know, there's really no harm in waiting, but you just might be waiting a while. Probably every 6 weeks or so, they do a 2x for Mortal Soul. It's probably pretty similar.
The one note I would have, though, I would think, so like for an account like mine, I literally only have 8 characters. I only have 8 champions.
Yeah.
So I think just being able to pick up a couple blessings early, that I feel like that'd be a big power boom.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the most important ones, you mentioned the Brimstone on your legendary. That's huge. Yeah. And like you can buy even the 1 stars in the shop can be kind of nice.
Yeah, I was thinking even just to have a 1 star on my Banshee or my Tagoar or my Kale feels like it'd move the needle in a pretty real way. But yeah, I mean, if they come every 6 weeks, just be a patient person and you'll be rewarded for it.
And for mythicals, so your primal shards, mythicals are obviously the best champs in the game. They are extremely difficult to get. Yeah, these are very difficult shards to get.
I was showing off my stockpile, and I will not be buying them. I won't have a fully free-to-play experience with those. So,
sure. Well, what I would recommend for most players, again, they very, very rarely do. They sometimes do 2x legendary and epics, which is really bad. Don't do that for primals. Sometimes they do 2x for just mythicals. That's okay. But then very rarely they'll do a 2x for everything, 2x epic, legendary, and mythical. And again, if you can be patient, that's going to be the best time. The reality is you're going to save up your primals for a year, pull them all, and you're not going to get a mythical. It's way crazy, the economy of it. But maximizing your chances for mythicals from primals is super important. You can be one of the lucky few that does get one.
Let me give a bit of advice in my 2.5 weeks of wisdom back. If you're wondering about mythical heroes, this is what you do. And we're actually going to be collabing with him in 2 days on Sunday. Go watch Big Papa Drock's channel and get your fix there. That's seriously, like, just, it's not going to happen unless it's not going to happen for you.
It takes a long time. Yeah. Like they're way too stingy in my opinion.
How many do you have, not counting the Mikages of the world and stuff?
So I have bought some, I've probably spent $200 on primals. I've got Carnage and Mikage. They're guaranteed. I've got 3 then.
So you got 3. And you've got a very optimized endgame account. For anyone that's definitely go check out your channel again, but like it's a very excellent account. So And Mythical's been out at least a year, I would think, right? If not far longer.
Yeah, more than that.
More than that. And you've picked up 3. So just to give you perspective, we've got a medium spender here. You even spent a little on the primals. It's like, think of it as the ultimate icing on top gravy thing. Do not, it's just not going to happen for you.
Yeah. But maximize the chances, right? There's no,
certainly.
like,
Exactly.
Might as well.
Well, that's kind of, I actually was kind of trying to get to that same point. It's not going to happen for you. So just wait for that once in a blue moon when they're all in rate up. Let's do the quick math. 1%, 2%, that's 3, 32%, 35. All of a sudden, only a 65% chance to hit the rare. Fill out that account with those epics, those legendaries, and maybe once a year, twice a year, you strike gold or you strike red.
Yeah. You'd be lucky if it's that much, but
okay.
Again, it's maximizing it. Again, another point I've got is your main source of primals usually is actually live arena. I think a lot of people don't play much live arena because, it can be kind of stressful, right? It's live PvP, but just get it done. There is matchmaking in it. Like if you lose a few fights in a row at the lower levels, they'll just give you a bot, right? You'll play against a bot account. Now they'll never officially say it's a bot account, but it's a bot account. But yeah, they'll put you up against that and, they'll try to get you some free wins. It will try to push you to, even if you are absolutely terrible, you've got the worst champions, it will still try to get you a 50% win rate in there. And just grind away at it, and that is sort of your main source of primals. And it's also going to give you area bonuses, which are a new part of the Great Hall. I don't know if you can see them.
I haven't unlocked them. They don't unlock until I've been dying to click on it, but I can't unlock anything. Very interesting thing. Definitely go check out the video we did on your channel, Nubs. Viewers, go watch it because we talked about positives and negatives. One thing they kind of do very well and kind of do very poorly is the rate at which stuff unlocks. Like I think it feels like too much stuff unlocks early, but then they do a good job of waiting on some stuff. But I don't think they do it as gradually as they should. Like I do not think that the Sleep Boy should be unlocked for me, right? I actually think you could argue they could even keep Spider unlocked like until level 20. Like I just think there's a lot of stuff to do that. Yeah. But this is something they've done very well. I don't think I'm ready for this at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, for play, as soon as you feel up to it, just give it a go. And the best thing is to not care. If you're a competitive person, I don't know, you might well be, if you're competitive and you really want that good win rate and to do your best, you're going to be missing out on a lot of resources. But if you can just be like, I don't care, I just want to get the max resources, there's actually a lot of really good stuff in live arena. The primal shards, the gear sets are good. And the area bonuses are very, very, very impactful for Hydra and Cursed City. What
do they look like? Are they the same stats? Or are they at a different grouping of stats?
No, they're better stats. Oh. So in particular, you get Ignore Defense, which is your best offensive stat is in there. And another thing that's different is they've got grades for the different. So here you can, obviously each level you go up, it gets more expensive. But, it costs the same to upgrade Void Affinity as it does Force. For your area bonuses, you have some of the really bad ones like Potion Keeps. I think it's grade 1. It's really cheap to upgrade it. Never upgrade that. And then let's say Hydra is very expensive. It's grade 3, so that's a lot. But you can also upgrade the dungeon. So, you could upgrade Spider. You can get I can upgrade my speed in Spider. And that could really help you to get the control you need to actually beat it at stage 20 and get Arbiter, that sort of thing, Yeah.
To make it very clear to the viewers, because it might be brand new to you as it is to me, what Nubs is saying is instead of doing it by affinity, you do it by location. So you're getting a global boost for all your characters in that chosen location. So yeah, if like Hydra's so important, right? That's a great choice, but obviously it's a little more important than the Potion Keep, so it's going to cost you a little more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love that tip. Yeah. That's a great one.
Cool. Let's touch on again another really nice thing they added in, been super popular, which is epic empowerment.
Oh,
you mentioned this as well.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Dude,
it's so I gotta say, Polarium, if they reached out to me whenever this was introduced, the amount of content and like jerking them off I would have done over this. This is like when they introduced empowerment, and I was like, I only care about epics. Where's my epic empowerment? It looks like it took a while, but wow, this is what it's all about. Yeah. I love this.
It's funny because they weren't gonna do it, and then it was from talking to content creators. They're like, you guys keep yapping about this epic empowerment. Okay, I guess we'll try it and we'll see. And again, I think it's been a massive success. I think it makes pulling shards way more exciting. I would generally recommend it's if they're a super key champion, like maybe you could empower them. Generally speaking, it's sort of fill up your faction guardians first, because that's going to sort of help all of your characters.
I just wanted to demo it.
Yeah.
I'm doing the faction guardians for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. If you click the info thing on the top left there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there. You can empowerment bonuses tab will show you this is what you get for mythicals and legendaries. That takes a long time, but the epics are just below, and it's still really good. You will still get a big chunk of HP, attack, defense, accuracy, some speed, some crit rate, crit damage. It's great. It makes them a lot stronger, which will really help you just progress everywhere. So it's just a great positive. And it means, yeah, you get copies of the same epic. If it's a good epic, it's great. And even a bad epic can become pretty good. If you get a big blessing and some empowerment on a bad epic, they can actually be really strong for things like Faction Wars and Cursed City and so on.
It really does beg the question, where is my rare empowerment, though, doesn't it?
I know. So I would love for them to do rare empowerment. I think it'd be good. What I would love, though, is if they gave you just like a generic currency that could empower any rare.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem would be like you really shouldn't build most rares. There's only a few you actually build. So if I could easily see a new player come in and be like, I put all my rares to +4, but they're useless. Why am I doing this? I could have ranked up some champions. So that would suck. I think like a generic currency would be nice. So we'll see. I've said it to them, of course, but I don't think they're interested. But, you know, we can hold out hope they'll do rare empowerment eventually.
It's always a win when like it just hurts so much in games when you pull a duplicate character and there's no use for it. So just giving extra uses, I think, is really powerful. I really did not enjoy. I think it was right before they did. Maybe it was at the same time, but I feel like it was right before. I'm totally lost. Here we go. The token trader where you could like sell off your guys. I thought that was so silly. But I think that the legendary empowerment's very cool. I think the faction guardians is very cool. So it's nice they're giving you options and they're giving you variety. That's a great suggestion. And the epic empowerment, I'm telling you, like if I was playing when that happened, I would have lost my GD mind for sure.
Okay, another little tip. We've got free gear removal. It's actually on right now. They do this about every month. I think it's usually about halfway through the Cursed City rotation. So I don't know if you can see the Cursed City rotation on a new account. Probably not. No, you can't. But when you do unlock it, it will give you a timer. It's about every 4 weeks or so. And then it usually runs for about 3 days and full free gear removal. This is so handy. You are constantly out of silver on a new account. Like you've got 200K. It's a drop in the bucket, really.
Yeah.
So waiting to change your character's gear for the free gear removal is massive. And when you do get further in the game, you want to be more hardcore. I'd recommend it's a great time to use I write for hellhades.com, guys, but the optimizer on hellhades.com is a free tool, and that will you can just say, give me the best damage stats with 200 speed for Kale, and it will do that.
Yeah.
And you can set requirements and all sorts. Too complex to go into in this video, but it's a great time. I think usually the guys put that premium optimizer, because there's a paid version. They usually put that available for free during the free gear removal as well.
Wow, that's very generous.
You can try it. Yeah, you can try it out. And that can be, again, if you want to be more serious, there's not really a need for it in the first month or two. But when you get 3 or 4 months in, you start to have lots of different gear. Having an AI, unfortunately, we still have our jobs for now, Fastidious. Who knows how long that will last before AI replaces us. But
our days are numbered.
Yeah, exactly. But for gearing champions, AI is better than the human. So use the gear optimizer to again swap your gear for free and rearrange your characters.
People have been watching me. I haven't mentioned the Hell Hades optimizer yet, very much because if you're early like I am, there's no use. But the second you've populated your account with some usable gear, I used to use it constantly, especially when you're trying to get those perfect speed tunes. You can set a very tight range for what you need. It's extremely useful. I'm sure I'll do a lot of content on it in the future. And also, I just want to say with the free gear removal, I just put out a video with Colred about this 2 days ago, and I'm sure you have got a great video on it. So definitely go check those guys out, because there's a lot you do even early on and certainly later on to take full advantage of this.
Yeah, you can push faction wars early
game.
I'm doing,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you can do some cool stuff. So it's amazing. I wish it was open more. I tell you. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a big one. Something else to touch on: brand new relics.
Yeah.
This might even be the last point. We've covered a lot of stuff. So relics are great. I do recommend. Yeah, you get that starter relic for free. Just slap it on your starter champion. For you, Kale, perfect, great. It's just giving you stats for free.
Yeah.
No, it's a terrible relic, but it's some free stats. Why the heck not? But you actually get a decent amount of relics from Chimera. I think even it's actually quite easy to beat the lowest difficulty of Chimera. And so long as your clan beats it, it's going to give you It's one of the clan bosses. It will
Yeah.
give you.
I was a little
basically
scared
one
to
relic.
show it because we just switched, so I actually lost all my progress right before reset. That was a huge mistake. But you know, I can tell people I just missed the 1 key, but I very easily hit the 2 key. I got to like 3.98, and that was like on day 10. So definitely you guys can do that. I wish they gave more, but I'm sure later on they do.
Yeah. It just adds up. Again, it's going to add up over time. You're going to get those relics. Again, you got to get a bit lucky with the bad materials to get the good ones. But still, I mean, I think even getting the 2 chest from your clan clearing easy, which again, like 2 weeks into the game is doable. You got a 15% chance for an epic. You know, that adds up over time, and it's giving you a bunch of stats. And you know, like when they designed Doom Tower, Faction Wars, whatever, obviously none of that stuff existed, right? It makes it so much easier to progress through the game more quickly because the relics have great effects. They've got good stats. You can put the gems in them. It's small, but it really does add up. And again, those relics, you can just transfer them to other characters afterwards as well.
There's so many features. I mean, to bring it all home, right? If you combine it, the game's gotten a lot easier. The early game is still fairly mind-numbing, I would say, as you just try to like have champions that are built. But you're going to reach a point where you have enough diversity of gear. You get these free gear move around days. You have some empowered epic champions. You know, you've got enough relics that just free stats, enough blessings that now give free stats. It's really combining all those things. Like I did Lydia in like 11 months. I'd be shocked if it took anywhere near as long as that, unless I have terrible summoning luck, just because they've greased the wheel in like 4 or 5 different ways. It's not going to feel like that if you started when I did. And I mean, I think we're on 16. Is that right? We're on day 17. But it's going to start to feel like that within like a month and a half, 2-3 months. So I appreciate this so much. And I think the key thing I want to say before we get your final thoughts is some of this stuff might feel down the road. It's a lot less down the road than you realize. Some of it's already there, like the gear removal, you know, epic empowerment, maybe if you've been summoning a lot, but it's going to be there quick. So just hop on that, take advantage. These are all brand new things to me that are going to accelerate my account and definitely will accelerate your guys' account. So thank you so much, Nubs. This was you were prepared. I love this list.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, I mean, part of the reason it's so fresh in my mind is because I've been doing the Hell Hades 2025 free to play challenge. So I'm like, I was away for a few days there, and that breaks, like for me psychologically, that break, I find it so difficult to get back into the challenge. I'm just like, what if I just don't come back from the break? But that aside, yeah, the new account experience is fresh in my mind, and I was shocked actually. Like that account I've been playing for a month and a half now, I suppose. Really only for a month because I took a break, but I've got relics on everyone now. I'm like, amazing, damn. And I've got a couple of blessings. I'm like, oh, this is such a huge difference, right? That brimstone on Alice for clan boss damage, demon lord, chimera damage as well, even does a ton of damage to Hydra. I'm like, man, that helps so much. It makes a huge difference. All this stuff does let you push a lot further than you could, a couple of years ago. I think there's still a lot to improve. They could improve with a new player experience. Yeah, the campaign grind. Woo! But,
man, that's a video I've actually had fully outlined for a while, but it's so negative. I don't know if I'm ready to make it. But the disaster, I've called it the preliminary game. The disaster that is your first 4 to 6 to 7 days in this game. So many people will never make it past 7 days. I'm telling you, based on how other games are now, the way this game is, it's frightening, but it gets good pretty quick. So make it through that, break through that barrier. Thank you so much, Nubs. This was excellent. Like you said, you do work for hellhades.com as well, and you guys are hosting that really cool challenge. So if you've kept up on my other channel with my 3 to play challenge, it's like that without the 3 legendary restriction, and it's really cool. And it's like 4 times bigger. You got like what 2? Maybe it's even 10 times. You got like thousands of people. We got like 400 people. You got like thousands.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a big community thing. Yeah, I actually don't know. I don't know how many total.
It's a big deal, and it's a great way to learn. So if you want to watch like more seasoned people, go check out Nubs and YST, and obviously Bront. You got to check out Bront.
I think he's first place. The guy's crushing it. Yeah. First or second, anyway. He's
doing it. He's doing a great job. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Nubs, for coming on. All that stuff with the download link and all of Nubs' resources will be below. Check out our other video. I've been Fastidious. That's been Nub Raids. Share with your mother, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.